Death is just a transition. People make this big thing about it. You know, we're all going to make this transition. You're just shedding the outer vehicle and you're moving to another vehicle. And when people die in general, they take on what they hold in their subconscious mind as the image of themselves in their prime, essentially. People at death, they're met by their loved ones. Near-death researchers for 30 years have confirmed this a million times over. And then you're escorted or led to a consensus reality of those that are of like mind. And that's where that individual then has a choice. If you join, you will become part of their collective. It's heaven by all intents and purposes. There's no death, there's no disease, there's no starvation, there's no wars. So heaven is not a bad term for these astral consensus realities. They are wonderful. Now, there's others, of course, that I write about, that those that people consider them lost souls. I don't like the term. They've made a choice. If you want to hover close to the physical, you don't enter the astral at all. And you stay on the etheric, which is literally all around us. It's a slight vibrational shift from us to the etheric. Very slight.
Are these ghosts?
These are the ghosts. These are the wanderers, the sleepers. They're either attached to a physical locale, or they're attached to an individual, or they're super attached to it to the point they're only comfortable there. So everyone's home basically has non-physical beings there. Most people's homes. It's common. We've had 15 homes. I've had out-of-body experiences in all these homes. There was always another person living in that house. Without exception, every time there's a non-physical being living their own lives in there in another dimensional space. They're not a ghost at all. Not to them, they're just living their life. That's why it's a shame there's so much negativity and fear around this very simple subject. You know, what do people think happens to people when they die? I mean, they all become non-physical residents. You know, there's hauntings, what people call hauntings, everywhere. They're just people that like their homes and they don't want to leave. They're only people, they're vibrating out of phase with your vision. But they haven't changed. They're the same people. It's not a malevolent thing either. It's not. They're just attached. About this idea of darkness and lightness, yes, the universe is diverse. There's darkness and there's lightness. Just like in the physical world, there's people out there that do people harm. Yes, that continues. Everything is multidimensional. So to say there is none is naive, and that's not the case. What I'm saying is that we are incredibly powerful, creative beings. Just to address the idea of hitchhikers, which is talked about often. The idea of a hitchhiker is that some negative being can attach themselves to you when you leave your body. First off, if that could happen, then why don't they do it while you're sleeping? You're just as vulnerable. It would happen all the time if it was going to happen. In my 45 years, I have never seen a hitchhiker. I have personally never witnessed that. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't or can't exist, because I think everything can exist, because everything is thought responsive. I just know for a fact that when I leave my body, that I'm powerful, and that nobody's even going to get close to me. And even a negative being won't even approach me, because it's not in their vibration. I'd blow them out of the vibration alone would clear the room.
Is that because you're Bill Buhlman? Can I do that?
Anybody can do that because we have that ability. The point is, that's why it's important to set your vibrational state when you leave your body. Like attracts like. I don't experience those things in 45 years because like attracts like. If your goal is to experience your higher self, to resolve all the darkness within yourself, to obtain self-knowledge, your motivation and spiritual energy is directed to a higher purpose. It's not in the darkness, it's focused on the light. But yes, if you're a dark-minded person, you're going to go to a dark-minded place. And I definitely know that there's evil, or what people frame as evil. Yes, of course there is. I'm not saying there isn't. The point is that like attracts like, and it doesn't mean that that's going to be part of your journey. It doesn't matter how the negative present manifests. We have the ability to absolutely control and disperse it very easily by just following some easy practices. Number one, you just send out a shock wave of light. If you had anyone in your presence that you don't appreciate, it could be your mother-in-law, who knows what it is. It could be a devil, it could be just an angry person that is confronting you. It doesn't matter. You can blow them away from you. That's one approach. It's not very elegant, but you can just send out a shock wave of light. The other, more elegant way to handle any kind of approach, which by the way, it's incredibly rare, but if it was to happen, another way is to send love to it. The same as sending the shock wave out or send love to it. The third way, if you want to avoid the situation, next level now. Very powerful command. I've used it multiple times. It will take you to another dimensional space away from that situation. Now, I'm not recommending it because you're just avoiding the situation that, let's face it, that you have created. Remember, our higher self will give us challenges and opportunities for growth in many different manifestations. It's important to know the energy behind what's occurring, and it's important to own it. And unfortunately today, with all this rampant talk of devils and demons and possession and goes on and on and on, I know I've heard it all for 25 years. How do you tell people and make them understand that you are the source? That's an opportunity to confront this energy within yourself. People don't want to hear that because they don't want to take responsibility for their own creations. Once you take full responsibility, then you can resolve this. Then you can resolve everything that you brought into this life with you. But you have to take that first step, and that is, I take responsibility for my entire life. I take responsibility for my dream life. I take responsibility for my OBEs. I take responsibility for my meditations. I take responsibility for everything.